Hi Positive Readers, it's Positive right here today with another video, and today we're going to be book chatting Beast Made of Night by Tochi Onyebuchi. I love this book so much. I heard about it a while ago. It was like Penguin did a thing, a sponsorship thing with a whole bunch of booktubers and basically sent them these books, the first one and the second one, which I have not read yet. But yes, it's a duology, and I heard about it then, and I knew a guy was the main character, a black guy was the main character, and it was like Nigerian, so I was like, let's finesse. So I finessed, and it was really, really good. I did give it 4 stars just because, I don't know, the ending left a little bit to be desired, but like the second book exists, so I'm not mad. But basically, yes, I really enjoyed it. Basically, about this boy named Tochi, and in this place that he lives in, there are these things called Akis, and they eat people's sins. So when someone sins, a spell is cast or whatever, so the sin comes out of them and then becomes a creature that you have to kill. Wow. And the Akis are the ones who kill them, and basically then the sin beasts or whatever become tattoos on their bodies, and they carry them around. They're not like the society or whatever because they're sinners, because they eat the sin, so they're like unpure or whatever. And yeah, and it's basically just about like his journey and stuff, and how he is existing in this world as one of the best Akis. So yes, I love this book very much. Tochi was an amazing character. I had a really nice time. It was not generic. It was great. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. So read this if you're into magic, fantasy stuff, royal stuff, Nigerian stuff. Just read it. You know, it's great. I appreciate this book. I love it. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the stuff in this book that I really liked. The first thing was that the fact that in the beginning, Tochi was talking about his hair and how he loves it, but like it's hard to maintain and stuff. And like he was talking about how it like flops sometimes and like doesn't look right. Like it depends. Like if you touch it once, it just like gets messed up or whatever. And I big relate because like before I was doing this video, like up until a couple minutes ago, my hair was literally just into some rat stuff, so I had to, you know, switch it or whatever, and it was, you know, it was kind of tedious, but I relate to that, so I was like, I know what you're going through, bruh. I said I've never related more to a line. So the next thing is that they were at this, I guess, fantasy version of a club, because basically the first half of the book, I mean, I really read this book and I really appreciated the character interactions more than the plot, so kind of the plot is kind of lost on me, but I'm pretty sure like the first half was a little bit, not the first half, like the first maybe quarter was like a little bit slow, but basically I think what I remember happening was he went to eat a sin beast from the royal family, so it's one of their sins, and he ate it or whatever, he killed it and ate it, and then he went back to cash his money, which was way less than he was supposed to get, and then he sent it back to his mom or whatever, and then him and his best friend went out to this club thing. And he went over to talk to a girl and was trying to be smooth, but she grabbed him. She literally, like, I don't remember the exact scene, but yeah, she grabbed him and saw his tattoos and stuff and was like, you know, what are these? Because she's one of those people who like kind of live under rocks and don't really know stuff. So then she just started tracing him and stuff, and it was just so cool because the book is in his point of view basically. I'm pretty sure, is it in first person? Yes, it's in first person. So he said, despite what the other Aki might think, I'm not used to other girls what am I saying, like there's another girl, to girls touching me like this and my cheeks burn. I was like, oh, because for some reason girls are the only ones that blush in a lot of YA books, but in this book we broke the mold, guys. I was living for that. The next thing is the King's Sin Beast. So after they were at this club and stuff, some stuff happened with the girl and they got offended or whatever. He got offended and he left, and like she left and whatever. And then they were called, him and his best friend were called to this place, to the palace again, to eat the King's sin. And it was the biggest sin they had ever seen, and the scene was really, really good. I really enjoyed myself, and it was like a dragon or something, and it was actually supposed to be his best friend who was supposed to be actually killing the beast. He was just there, like, I guess for backup or whatever. And he was in the process of doing it, but he was losing, and the thing was about to kill him. So he ran over there and was like, stop! And it actually stopped. And like, that's unheard of because like, there's a sin beast and that's a human being. It was kind of just like, what's going on? And it stopped or whatever, and he ended up killing it. And that was that. But then after this, a whole bunch of stuff happened because then they had them arrested. Right after he killed the sin beast and he was trying to get his friend help or whatever. They literally had them arrested, and I was like, what's going on? And I basically thought that they had them arrested because they didn't want anyone to know that the king has such of a big sin, and he thought they were going to go back and tell everybody. But actually, they arrested them, took Taj to the palace, and like, well, he was already there, but like they put him in a room, and like, well, actually what happened was they tried to grab him, I forgot about this, and he ran away. He got out because his friend, they had already grabbed him because he was already hurt, but he was like, run, Taj, and he was like, alright, he did. So he ran and he escaped for a while, but then he was somewhere, and his caregivers had taken him in and were like hiding him, but he didn't want them to get like hurt or anything for harboring him or whatever, so he surrendered or whatever, and then took him back to the palace. And basically he woke up in this nice bed and stuff. And you mind you, these Akis are like poor. They're like the lowest people in society, despite how important their roles are. And like that was the thing. And he was like, what's going on? He had all this new clothes, all this food. He was just like, what is going on here? And this actually before this, I forgot about this scene, but he was like on a roof or something, and he started crying because of the guilt of leaving his family, because the Akis or whatever, they when they come to eat sins or whatever in the city that they're in coast, they basically have to leave their families because I don't even remember why, but like they have to leave and go get trained and live in a dahia with the other Akis, and they are their family now, which is why his friend, who I thought was his brother at first, because that's how they refer to each other, he was really just his friend because all the family, his mom and dad, were somewhere else. But yeah, he was crying over the guilt of leaving them behind because he knew he had to, and he knew that he had no other choice, but he was like feeling guilty and stuff. And I was like, wow, the very opposite of the stoic guys of the majority of YA. LOL, the rest of the YA books cannot relate. And I do agree with that. He's a very realistic character, and I appreciate that, you know. Then this is what I was just talking about, the scene where he was in the palace room that he had been put into or whatever, and looking at the clothes and was just astonished. Like, he was just like, I had never seen with this much silk and stuff. It was crazy because like he was like really confused. And basically this guy came in who was like the advisor for the Akis or whatever. He came in and was like, you're now a personal sin eater for the royal family because you're so powerful or whatever. So we're going to treat you like a royal, and you're just going to stay here. And he was like, okay. And he was just basically, but he adapted really fast to this. And it wasn't like he was stupid. He's not letting his guard down. But he's like, I might as well enjoy it. I'm here, you know. It wasn't like he was even betraying his people back home because he kept thinking about them. But he was like, I'm here. Might as well live in the moment and appreciate this. He turned around. He said he was leaving. He was like about to leave a room or something, and he had put on the clothes, the new clothes or whatever. And he said he turned around and the robe like flew up. He said, it's so dramatic. I hate it. It was just so funny. Because you know what I'm talking about. Like when somebody turns around, they have like a long robe on, and it goes like, and it was just, he was like, I hate it. So this one time he was about to go on a walk because he's in his room and like he feels like he's kind of confined, but he was like feeling like a prisoner a little bit. So he was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. And he's about to go for a walk, and then the princess was at his door. This princess, my queen, I love her. Okay, Princess Karima, I love her so much. She's a great human being. Literally, I've never seen another YA girl like her. But anyway, when he saw her, he was speechless. And then as she was leaving, she touched his arm and whispered, I very much look forward to seeing more of you, into his ear. Oh, I was on my mess. Like, I was dying because that's just so non-generic. It's so often that it's like the female protag or whatever, and a love interest is like a prince and he's all weird and whatever, and it really is getting annoying and creepy now. I don't want to see it ever again. But this new and improved, we are out here, okay? Tochi snapped. He went back to the forum, which is this, like, the place that he was in before, basically like the marketplace of where he was in before he got taken to the palace, and he went there in his new clothes and all that, and he noticed how much better the people were treating him, and said, don't I deserve a little respect? And I just, he was kind of like feeling bad at first, like, oh my god, I feel like I'm not one of them, but at the same time, he was like, don't I deserve some respect? Like, yeah, this is right, like, I love this. And I was like, moved. Then he started strutting through the square, literally me in this situation. Like, honestly, I could big relate. And he bumped into a guard on purpose because he knew he had the power to, because he was like one of the royal family's people or whatever. Because he knew that the guard was not going to hurt him like he would in the past. He was just enacting his power or whatever, and I appreciate it. His newfound power, figuratively speaking, was going to his head. But he's not stuck up like the palace people and just wants to be seen without his sin tattoo. So it's like a balance. It's not like he wants all the power to himself, and he wants to, like, he thinks he's better than all the people he worked with before. But he also is not completely like, yeah, I'm in the palace or whatever, but I'm still poor or whatever. So it was like a balance. I appreciated that. He's a balanced human being. The princess later on invited him to a poetry competition, and the last seat available was next to her, and he kept talking about how fast his heart was beating from being so close to her, and I big relate. I don't know, this type of thing is never seen in YA, not by me at least, and it's nice to be able to relate. For some reason, guys that might never have any freaking personality traits, it's like they just exist to do things to the protagonist to just make them like them, and it's annoying, but this was not that case, and I appreciated it. Then the princess walked him back to his room and was just examining his tattoos. Bro, this book might have flew. I really enjoyed myself. I really was enjoying myself with this. The princess kept snapping. I really appreciated her scenes. I was just having the best time. He was recounting how she touched him and whispered to him, this might have got me. I was in my car I was going through it. This book snapped. The princess is so cool. I love everything about her. Everything she does is just amazing, and she has Taj in a sling for sure. And I appreciate it. For the first time, a YA girl in the book was freaking sexy. Like, for some reason, all the girls are all awkward or whatever, and it's just not a thing. But like, now we out here. Then there was this whole revolution thing, because what happened with the palace thing was he ended up getting taken from the palace because this advisor guy decided that he wanted him somewhere else. So they transported him to this Aki camp where he's gonna train these little Akis to learn how to sin, eat, and whatever. And you know, all this stuff is happening, but then turns out there's a revolution brewing among these people in this camp, and he finds out about it, and then it's kind of bad, but not really. It's like, okay, so then they start, basically their plan is during the ceremony or whatever, they're gonna go to the palace and like storm it or something, and they start doing this, and then all hell breaks loose because it's like freaking the sin beasts jump out or whatever, and they're basically going to grab the king and kidnap him or something, and they tried, but like then the advisor guy who had sent them in the first place turned out to be like actually really bad, and then he ended up stopping them or trying to, but then Princess Karima came in and stabbed them and killed them, and it was kind of messed up, but like whatever. And then then they walked outside and the king was right there, and it was like a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was kind of a blur, you know. It was kind of a good scene, but kind of a blur, because then it was like a big battle with the Sin Beast and like a whole bunch of other people, because like he had brought his friends. It was just a whole bunch of stuff going on, okay? And basically what I do recall from it was the princess wanted him to rule, because I think the king died somehow. I forgot how, but the king died, and then she was on the thing or whatever, and she was telling him to come rule with her now that the king was dead, and you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden these things called, I forgot what they were called, but these creatures that are even worse than Sin Beasts came, and they started piling up, because basically what the advisor had done was he made it so that if they killed him or whatever, there would be so much so many sin beasts, that these things that literally like are bred from sin or whatever would come to the place and like kill everybody. So that was his plan all along, and the princess is like, come rule with me while these people kill everybody that you've ever known, because you know, we can cleanse the land and build a new nation or whatever. And he was like, no. And it was messed up because Aaliyah was like, no, don't do it, and she was like pulling him up the stairs like, yeah, you come on, you can rule with me. It was messed up. I should have seen it coming, but like whatever. And the princess kind of betrayed him, kind of, you know, because her whole plan was basically to get into power and then redo the whole thing, except she didn't want to do it with him, and she was like, stay with me and be spared, because she finna go to town on everyone. Because basically another thing that he figured out was that he could command the Sin Beast, of course. So then he told everybody to stop when they were all in the battle or whatever, before the princess started actually telling him to rule with her. And that was that. But like, turns out I think somebody else can actually command them too, because what happened with his best friend was he actually had not been like taken or whatever. He was not taken like they thought that he was, and like he thought he was. He came back and turned out him and the princess were like in cahoots, and they expected Taj to be okay and say okay to coming to rule with her, but he didn't. So they were like, you're gonna get taken. So they started fighting him. He was like, you were supposed to say yes or whatever, and it was pretty bad. But yikes, you know, that was that. And then he ended up running with Aaliyah and all his other people who were not retards now. And the last line of the book was, they sent their army after us, which kind of a cliffhanger, and I was kind of confused at the end because a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, but you know, I'm still excited to read the next book for my queen princess, who used to be Princess Karima. Super excited for that. Excited to see what happens with Taj, and like, this book was great. I really enjoyed myself. 4 out of 5 stars, like I said, because the ending was just a little bit weird. But like, read it because it's amazing. Why am I telling you to read it after I just told you everything that happened? Whatever, you know. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you later with another video. Bye.